Good morning. It is me, Pearl from Pearl in the Prayers, and this is Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our interactions with people around us, in our environment, in our ability to be able to create the reality that we want to have around us. And if we want to see changes in all of that, we have to make changes inside of ourselves, shift and move and flow with the energy. So that is what we are going to do today. All right, we're going to start with Divine Feminine because she had the most cards showing, which was a lot of cards because she's overthinking and overfeeling. So let's dig in. Divine Feminine, top of the deck. Overall headspace, forefront of the mind for you, the sun. We're using Mystic Mondays today. The first decks I used to do these readings when I started having more than one deck. This was one of my go-tos. So what we're seeing is the sun card showing up in a reading is auspicious, whether it is upright or in reverse. And I guess for Divine Feminine, we're seeing that there's a certain amount of contentment here. There are certain aspects of the puzzle, certain pieces of the puzzle that have fallen into place, certain things that have come together that cause her to feel happiness, feel fulfilled. She's experienced also a certain amount of enlightenment in the situation. But that's what I'm seeing the reversal is in regards to. Divine Feminine feels like there's something that she still needs more illumination in regards to. There's something about her own happiness, how to give herself this happiness, that she's still seeking more enlightenment. She's received so much and she's really healing and she's growing. But we see her really just feeling like there's a little bit more that's hidden from her that she wants to see even more clearly. Shine a light even into the furthest reaches, basically, to just remove all of the shadows so that she could finally have what it is that she desires. So that's why the reversal is here. But ultimately, we do see a Divine Feminine who is feeling a certain amount of fulfillment just on her own. When we see the imagery from a sun card that's more of the traditional Smith Waite, we're going to see a child, a horse. But in the Mystic Mondays deck, which I love using in Headspace because it's so minimal and it just kind of takes us to like the essence of like what our thoughts are, we see just her sense of happiness and fulfillment coming from her own enlightenment. And that's the other thing that we're seeing resistance about. It's like this is her headspace and this is the thing she's thinking of. She knows it's true that her happiness and her fulfillment comes from the self. But I do sense just a little bit of disappointment there. Like thinking like, I know that I have to be happy on my own, by myself, alone, and fulfilled in this state. And I am, but there's a part of me that just still feels like it's really not enough. That's what her mind is thinking right now. That's what she keeps coming back to. The niggling thing in the back of her mind is the Nine of Pentacles, which is such an interesting contrast to a reverse sun card, because the Nine of Pentacles is about having done work with that Eight of Pentacles energy and now achieved a return on your investment that you've made in the Seven of Pentacles, and you're seeing now abundance. You have the ability to reward yourself. And we're seeing traditional decks will typically use a Divine Feminine, and it's about being single and about being fabulous. And the Divine Feminine song that came on during the shuffle, if you missed it, I did shuffle live today, but there were 3 songs that played. The first song that came up for Divine Masculine was Mind Mischief by Tame Impala, and the lyrics were pretty pretty appropriate for him. Feels like my life is ready to blow. Me and my love will take it slow. I hope she knows that I love her alone. I just don't know where the hell I belong. How optimism led me astray. 200 things I took the wrong way, but I say her love gauge, running low, or I see it probably. I see her love gauge running low. I tried to fill it, but it overflowed. Feels like my life is ready to blow, right? That seems like so freaking, I mean, that tracks. And then Divine Feminine had, there were two songs that played for her. The first one I couldn't find on Instagram to post, which I always feel like when that happens, I get a third song. But it was a significant song because it's a song by Dar Williams called When I Was a Boy that one of my first girlfriends in college put on a playlist for me. That's so freaking typical and very 90s Lilith Festival vibes. And the lyrics to the Dar Williams song are about, it's a female reflecting when she was little that she was allowed to be a tomboy. She was allowed to be a boy. She didn't have to wear a shirt, da da da. And she's like kind of pining for that. And then at the end, and it's clear that she's like talking to like a divine masculine energy about this. And then at the very end of the song, he responds, "Oh no, can't you see? When I was a girl, my mom and we always talked, and I picked flowers everywhere that I walked, and I could always cry. Now, even when I'm alone, I seldom do. And I have lost some kindness, but I was a girl too, and you were just like me, and I was just like you." And I remember the first time hearing that song and getting that first concept that even men suffered from the oppression of women because they weren't allowed to be in their divine feminine either. And so that seemed like a significant song to mention. The final song was Matchmaker, Matchmaker, as sung by Ella Fitzgerald from Fiddler on the Roof. So Divine Feminine's got some single energy here, and she's just kind of like, look, I don't want to block my happiness anymore by having a single-minded fixation on one specific iteration of a divine masculine energy. I want to reward myself by being able to have the fulfillment of my happiness. The other thing about this card is it's like you're happy, but you're only letting yourself taste it. You're not letting yourself have the full meal, right? That's something that keeps coming up for me. It's something I said to my DM, like that I needed a full meal, not just crumbs. And this is what Divine Feminine is thinking. She's like, I'm like so happy that I've achieved this sacred union in myself. And I have this enlightenment about that song, when I was a boy, how we were both deprived in some way and how our journey has been about learning to heal those wounds. But at this point in time, in the back of my mind, she just keeps thinking, I'm single and I should enjoy myself. Like I should enjoy that. It's like difficult for her to do that though. It's difficult for her to explore other options. We've seen that come up for her as an issue before because of her feeling about this specific iteration being some kind of a soulmate. So we see that battle going on in her headspace. But all in all, we do see a divine feminine who is being self-indulgent, maybe a little too self-indulgent if her happiness is like, maybe she's, indulging too much and that's fucking with her happiness and fulfillment as well. But we see her treating herself well, like, my red roses, getting roses, like just like trying to really make herself feel her full expression of happiness, which she doesn't want to deny herself because of a specific attachment. It's a pretty good headspace. First thing on her mind, the Hermit. So she's waiting because this is a Hermit card where she's just standing there looking out the window. And the Hermit is about soul searching and, there's this like wise, this like wisdom that you gain from taking that starlight or whatever and just, like figuring out what it is that's still hidden, right? That enlightenment that she's still seeking so that she can figure out why she can't actually have this material happiness, why won't manifest for her. I feel a heaviness here today with this hermit energy, a sadness that she has to continue to be alone, that she is still on this journey actually too. She's feeling a little bit of a struggle with this. And the next thing on her mind is the journey itself, the Two of Wands. So we see her taking an inward journey to reflect upon this journey, which is the one where she's asked for something, she's prayed for it, so please can I have this? It will make me happy. And there is an element here of her being like, I don't know if I know what will make me happy. Because I thought I knew what would make me happy, and it was this specific divine masculine, but maybe I've got it wrong. And because the truth is, we don't know what is at the end of this path. And if I have a material manifestation, a material attachment, then I'm blocking this fulfillment because I'm not just allowing whatever is supposed to unfold. So she's going within right now to figure this out. How am I still blocking my happiness? And of course, that Two of Wands is also frequently about that twin flame journey. So it can be that she's soul searching to figure out, like, does she really want to choose this twin flame journey? Because the Two of Pentacles energy that she's in, she's got a lot of things, like there's a lot of responsibilities to juggle. There's a back and forth. There's an imbalance with the Two of Pentacles. There's putting a lot into something and not seeing it come back to you. But it's also about having to make a decision, having to choose to go one way or another. And the next card that comes up is the Four of Pentacles, which is about having a solid foundation. But it's about being attached, material attachment. To see the Nine of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles, I see that she's really, the soul searching that she's doing has to do with her realization that if she's not experiencing her fulfillment completely right now, it must be because she hasn't made a choice in regards to this twin flame journey, that she's holding on to this past energy, the Six of Cups, this hope for a reunion. That's what is blocked. She's not happy, even though she's single and fabulous, because she's staying alone to be on this twin flame journey, choosing to remain attached to this past energy, to who she believes is her twin, her soulmate, the one, whatever you want to call that person. And the final thing in the overthinking is High Priestess upright, which we like to see. It's also clarifying this Two of Pentacles. So we're seeing that she's needing to choose to trust herself, right? Her heart is telling her to remain on the twin flame path, to choose to be attached to this potential reunion with this past energy. Because the Tower. Jesus. Oh my God. So this was in reverse, I think, and then I flipped it because I remember seeing it in reverse. But regardless, there's an energy here that is about releasing and not releasing, right? Being attached to the old and not letting the tower crumble. She's thinking about, this is what it is. She's like, I know how the law of fucking attraction works. And I know that I can't be attached to a specific outcome. Okay, cool, bro. And I guess I need to still be alone and figure out why I'm still attached, because to this past energy, I need to go within and, figure this out, because I can't rebuild a tower if I don't let go of the old one. So I can't come into the union that I want if I won't let go of this one that will not happen. Right? It isn't happening. As far as I know, the last time I checked, right now, it's right now. It's not later. Right now is now. And she's living her life waiting because she's really choosing this attachment, and she needs to follow her intuition and let it go, release. This is what she keeps thinking about over and over. Heart space, top of the deck, overall feeling. We're using the Muse tarot today, so we have the Five of Voices, otherwise known as the Five of Swords. When we look at the image in this, I just see these, like, first of all, it's a mirrored image, right? And there's exhaustion here. It's like there's been a battle which involves just yourself. And there's at the bottom here, it just looks like people are just like annoyed. It's weird. There's like, it looks like a yoga class. And then there's like somebody off to the side with sunglasses. I don't know, there's interesting energy here, but I'm getting just like, there's this desire to like conform that divine feminine has been fighting against. And it's not her desire to conform. It's the thing that I feel like she thinks has been blocking the movement. The thing that she's fighting is divine masculine's need to conform. And there's something also about posing, because I think I'm thinking of yoga posing and people that do yoga as exercise versus a spiritual practice, like a shallow practice. There's something about this that is like annoying to divine feminine. So there's this like this feeling that she's fighting against these, I don't know, like this influence for the divine masculine that has to do with like his appearances and how he looks. This is also about her fears about being a poser or being an imposter in some way too. And there's exhaustion here. The reversal on the Five of Swords has to do with not accepting defeat usually, not being willing to just like throw in the towel, but wanting to just kind of go back into battle because you feel like you have something worth fighting for. It can also be an emphasis on defeat, though. It can be really just being so defeated, like there's something that you can't fight. And so a lot of times I would say this is about her not accepting defeat. But because of this weird aspect here in this card, which I am just associating with posing, there's something to do for her where she's just like, you know what? This is like fine. If you give a shit about that, then go give a shit about it. Like I don't care. If you're gonna wear a mask, if you're gonna pose for others, if you're gonna like, I can't fight that. I can't fight that because I don't understand that. And so I'm not gonna fight. That's not me. So there's something about that going on with that card. The niggling feeling in divine feminine is the Two of Cups, which is interesting because the niggling thing in the back of her mind being that single energy, the niggling thing in her heart space being not single, but being about a physical union. But this could also be about dating for some, because we've seen some in the collective have walked away from the divine masculine and said, okay, I'm good, see you later. And I don't want another shot in this lifetime. Like, I'm good. Some have been like, okay, we're in separation. I'm going to see other people while you get your shit sorted. Like, all the love to you. Like, no hard feelings. You do what you got to do. But I need to like keep it pushing. I'm single and fabulous, and I want to be able to date and see people until you're ready, bro, because that's not fair to me otherwise to expect me to wait for you, kind of a thing. So there's that in the collective. So there's the ones that are, they've gone into separation. They don't have an intention of trying to be on the twin flame journey anymore. There's others who are still attached to the twin flame journey. So they're just going to see other people in the meantime and enjoy dating. And then there's a third group that is completely waiting, remaining a hermit, remaining in isolation, only attached only to being with this specific twin and unable to date or relinquish anything but the physical union that they're after, that has to do with this reunion energy of the Six of Cups. So those are the three groups. Some of those places are a little healthier to fall in than others, right? So you might want to like shift where you are in that spectrum if one of those positions sounds a bit more comfortable. I would say the one in the middle is probably right where you want to be if you're still open to allowing somebody to heal and just sitting and holding this sacred space for them and being an unconditional love for them while you take care of your needs and, you know, receive your attention and get your full meal. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. That seems like probably a good energetic place to be. And I'm personally finding that place difficult to navigate. I'm not in the first category of being like bye forever, and I'm not in the I would say I'm probably more closer into the last category myself. I'm very attached. I have a very hard time. I'm just like, I don't care about anything else, whatever. I'll just work. So I'm like on the like because I'm really unhappy. Like this is pretty accurate for me. Like I'm like, wow, he loves me. But that's it, which is great. But also, I guess I'll just work. Right? Alrighty. So divine feminine, wanting that physical union, wanting to break bread, coming into that Two of Cups energy and share the cups that you have, the cup that you have with divine masculine. The hermit energy that you're in is being clarified by the Four of Wands. I just saw 22. The Four of Wands. So there's this desire here for you to figure out exactly how to manifest this sacred union that you have in your heart space outside of yourself so that you can actually celebrate it here in the material. There's also this feeling of waiting for Four of Wands, waiting for marriage, waiting for sacred union. Also, a heavy, heavy feeling of that, which requires a lot of strength from divine feminine on this twin flame journey. She is really having to control her pride and ego to sit in the space where she's like, I asked for a life partner and I believe it's coming, but I can't see it at all, right? This isn't Three of Wands where I'm feeling patient because I can see my ships coming in, right? Barring some catastrophic event, they're going to get there. This is more just like, I have to be strong because I've never known what this outcome is. And I have no idea how long this path is and how long that continues. And it's just required so much strength. But this journey for her has helped her to grow and to expand. And the strength that she has really put her into the star energy. So she's really shining. She's really at her best. You know, she's glowing, really. Glowing vibes from this beautiful divine feminine energy. She's not hiding herself. She's also not afraid of the shadow, right? Because she's a light that exists in the darkness. And she's the light that usually is leading that hermit energy on that journey. So her own heart, her own intuition, and the healing that has needed to take place, this is what is sustaining her and helping her to make these choices. And really what we're seeing here is that she's choosing herself. She's choosing to create that star energy for herself, to become a star, to shine, to heal, to express, not to remain hidden. And she's choosing something new. We have the Fool. This is the new beginning. Now, here's where we've got that deviation in the collective. We have the one group that's like, fuck that noise. I'm walking directly away from this specific attachment. I don't need a fool like that. Like, no, I'm not no, right? They have separated. They don't ever want to come back together. They're like, let's try the next lifetime, bro. Or you know what? Maybe not even then. Like, I'm Gucci. I'm going to find another soulmate. Like, right? There's that group. There's the second group that is holding on to the hope that the divine masculine energy will heal, right? And be able to reveal who she is. And they're holding out for a new beginning with a specific divine masculine energy. That's the second group. And the two versions of that group, the one that's like, well, I'm going to see other people while I await this new beginning with a specific attachment. Same kind of energy as the one that's like, I'm not going to see anybody. But they both are waiting to have a new beginning with a specific attachment. Whereas another is like, I'm walking away from the specific one. I'm taking a leap. I'm throwing caution to the wind. I want something new, right? I want something completely new. The Ace of Wands, which is clarifying the Six of Cups, which is a card about the past. So again, those two parts of the collective, the ones that are like, peace, bro. They want something new that is no longer a past energy. That's their heart is desiring a new fool. They want to be foolish. They want to just try something completely new, take a risk. The other group that wants to hold on to this is attached to this past energy and does want to await its fulfillment in this twin flame physical union here in the material. That's what we're seeing their heart's desire is. So they are wanting a new beginning with this past energy. And others want a completely new thing and they want to release that past energy. It's just, where do you fall? The final bit of overthinking, the High Priestess and the Tower, is clarified by overfeeling. The Nine of Cups, which if you get the Nine of Cups in a reading, it means you're going to get your wish no matter what. And the Eight of Inspiration in reverse, which is interesting because to me, that is about the momentum being very slow right now. So what we're seeing the overthinking being about is High Priestess energy. Divine Feminine is trusting herself. She's trusting in her heart. She's being intuitive. She's listening to those feelings. This is also another twin flame card. We got the Two of Wands and the High Priestess as well. She's balancing those two aspects of self. We see that energy from High Priestess card. But we're also seeing that her heart is telling her she must release the attachment to old energy. Now, if you are in the category where you are walking away forever and you are very salty and you are like, and I don't ever want to see this person again in this lifetime or any lifetime, fuck him forever, you're still attached to. You think you're not attached because you're like, I never want to see him again. But your anger attaches you to the person. The person in the third group, which is like, I'm never going to see anyone else. I can only be with this divine masculine energy and I'm going to wait forever, blocking my own happiness. You're doing that because you're attached out of a feeling of unworthiness. You feel like your expression, like you're not worthy to allow any love in, which is why you can't get it from this specific one or anyone else either. You literally are blocked. This one isn't ready. And so you're like, okay, well, then I'll just wait. But you are ready. Your spiritual fulfillment, your Nine of Cups, your Nine of Pentacles is here. You're single, you're fabulous, you're ready, you're experiencing abundance. You've got your Four of Wands, you've got your new beginning. You are absolutely ready. So you're attached to somebody who's not and blocking yourself from experiencing present time fulfillment. Also a problem. The middle group, you're doing okay. You recognize you have unconditional love and an attachment to a specific iteration of a divine masculine energy. However, you love yourself so much that you aren't willing to give up your happiness and your spiritual fulfillment. You are ready to have a completion. So you're going to stop communicating directly with the specific iteration and basically keep your emotions and feelings to yourself at this point in time as you work to release your attachment to a specific masculine so that you can allow your heart to lead you where it is that you really want to go on this journey, where you're supposed to go. And you're trusting that if you do this, you can get what it is that you desire. And that if the momentum has slowed down right now, it is only because it is you that has to release these feelings of attachment. That is what you're thinking. That is what you're feeling. All right, divine masculine. Let's see where you are, sir. Same freaking energy. Top of the deck, overall headspace for divine masculine energy, the Empress. And she's upright today, and she has a recipes for success book, and she has all that she could possibly need to just create these amazing concoctions. We also see her as very patient. She has to wait for things to bake. She can't, if you keep checking the oven, the thing, it doesn't turn out. There's definitely an energy of waiting that comes from the Empress, and it's a patient waiting. It's like she's gestating and her creation is coming to be. So the thing that divine masculine is thinking about more than anything else is, of course, his divine feminine energy, the match to his emperor energy. So this is the overall thing of his mind. And she is a wife material, right? This is somebody who he wants to have union with, who he wants to integrate into his life. He feels like being with her will be a recipe for success for his life and for their lives together combined. And I think there's a certain amount of him imagining her as like the mother of his children and like the housewife from the housewife deck. But not in a way that puts bad taste in my mouth, but just sort of like a, whatever your fantasy is of your partner, he's seeing her fulfilling that role in all of her power and how good she will be at it. And the niggling thing in the back of his mind is a card that we just saw, the Eight of Wands. Divine Feminine, it is in its reverse because she's not hearing anything from Divine Masculine, and she's not really saying much either. She's like, you know what? I just got to stop talking to this. I just got to stop talking to the specific iteration. He's been hoarding all of his emotions and feelings from me, which keeps me attached to him, makes it hard for me to let go. And the only thing I can do is just really kind of stop communicating with him in order to be happy, because it makes me unhappy to try to be, just sit here in this holding pattern. It feels good to be loved, but it's not the full meal, right? So Divine Feminine is in a place where she's feeling the lack of communication on Divine Masculine's part is being reflected back to him. She's like, you know what? It's best if I don't communicate with him at this point in time. Divine Masculine's niggling thing that's underlying everything is, I got to tell her. I want to tell her. I want to talk to her. I want to communicate to her. I want to go to her. I need to communicate. We're also seeing him feeling like she's a bit of a witch. And I don't mean that in a mean way, although maybe I do. But I mean it in the best of witchy ways, that we are witchy people for the most part in this collective. And I think he sees her, this momentum and this motion towards her, I think he does see as sort of almost like a spell, like she's put a spell on him and tranced him to a certain extent and captivates him. And also that she has power over him by whether or not she is sending or withholding her messages as well. So that's what he's thinking about. The first thing on his mind is releasing the past. 6 of Cups. Look at the lovely color. Actually, look at all that. Gorgeous. Love all these cards together. This is like a definitely, I'll have to pull these for the summer. This is a total summertime reading. This pink lemonade, I love this detail too. Like, it's just so nostalgic, right? Divine Masculine is working to release this past energy. We also see him wanting to reunite and feeling like that is maybe imminent, maybe about to happen. But I think more what we're seeing is this impatience with it. The impatience to reunite, impatience with himself and his ability to release this past energy. So there might be a divine feminine that is there could be a divine feminine energy. It could be mother, sister, daughter. I would say a younger energy from the past that seems to be kind of naive or immature in some way. And there is some active blocking or resistance to the divine masculine reuniting with somebody that he loves or coming into this union. So there's something about that energy. And this is making divine masculine feel very impatient. I could not wait for this to come up. This temperance card is the best temperance card. First of all, we love a mixer. The Martha Stewart in us is just like, and what are we mixing all together? Joy and sorrow, justice, anger. And it's like justice seasoning, instant anger, like clever deck. All of the feelings, right? All of the emotions. And there isn't a bias. It's not like these are good and these are not good, right? There is everything in the mix and it's all balanced so that we have a whole picture going on. So I think that's such an interesting temperance card. But we see divine masculine very impatient with this energy. And I'm seeing impatient that he's not getting, that he's experiencing, there's an imbalance where he's experiencing sorrow, not joy, and that he has anger and injustice, feelings of injustice coming on, that he's feeling so impatient with this past energy. And then we have another card of union, the 5 of Swords in reverse for both divine masculine and divine feminine. Divine masculine has been defeated by trying to make something come together. He's been trying to it's like he's been trying to create this divine feminine energy in his life without a pattern. And he's just so impatient with this whole process of trying to do this. And this past energy that has caused the block or is representing the block, I think, for him too, wanting to just cut that out, cut it away, and just get rid of it. But for divine masculine, I do see the sense that he's not wanting to accept defeat, but is feeling just utterly exhausted by this process of trying to make this work. And the next thing on his mind is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So we're seeing that he's the swiftness that he's wanting to have in being able to approach divine feminine, because we saw the Empress, we saw that Eight of Wands, the messages about her, whatever. We're seeing him feeling like he's unable to be honest to come forward and reunite quick enough. And he's feeling like this is so unfair. I also think I'm seeing him resist being honest with himself. Because here's Justice. She's back. We saw her yesterday, giving Divine Masculine a little spank. Karmic retribution going on in this sassy deck. And it is clarifying this impatience, the temperance in reverse, the imbalance. So there is injustice. There's a feeling that it's unfair, and he's impatient with it. So having a rough time, Divine Masculine. But there's light at the end of the tunnel, because first of all, we started with Divine Feminine wanting to communicate with her, feeling this motion towards her, craving messages from her. We're ending with the Magician, upright, clarifying this Five of Swords. So he's even though he's feeling defeated and he's exhausted by trying to get this thing to work, he's not going to give up. Even though he feels like it's unfair, he knows that he must bring justice. And he's got to try to do this as swiftly as possible, regardless of this third-party energy that he's very impatient with. He is in his power. He has all the tools he needs, and the ability to manifest. So even though there's a lot of resistance there, we see him able to make this work, maybe. The top of the deck overall feeling of the heart space is in direct contrast to a Knight of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles upright. So this is solid, stable, reliable energy, and it is motion. And it is in contrast to the Empress card too, which is a fixed and rigid sort of energy where you're just sitting and waiting. This is not waiting, but making movement towards your goal, although slowly, very cautiously, slowly and steadily, not wanting to slip or fall, not wanting anything to be lost along the way, really accounting for every single thing. This is meticulous, methodical, and plotting energy. The niggling thing in the heart space is the Knight of Cups. So what is the slow, steady progression? It's an offer of love. We have this cup here. We also see Divine Masculine with an openness. He's open to receive. And we see the position clarifying this. Really? Like, I just can't hold on to cards today. And then I'm here. Why? Also, I dressed like it was 100 degrees outside, and it is definitely not. And so I'm kind of freezing. I don't know. I just really wanted to wear my flower shorts today. I don't know. Eight of Wands is clarifying this is the same position as the Knight of Cups. So this is not only motion, but messages of love, and with some speed as well, moving a little faster. The heart is like, the niggling thing is like, come on, let's go a little faster, shall we? This Six of Cups in reverse is clarified by this Ace of Swords. So Divine Masculine, he's definitely wanting something new. He's definitely wanting a different energy, not to have this old energy anymore, not to be bound or beholden to it. He wants to cut it out and cut it away from his life so it doesn't have this control over him anymore and block him from his fulfillment, which is to reunite with that soul energy, that other aspect of self. But he's being very honest. He's got clarity about the past and about past issues with not only this divine feminine, his twin, but also any kind of karmic energy that's around him, divine feminine energy that of any kind. He's impatient right now to unburden himself, to put down all these responsibilities, and he's very nervous about what is going to happen. He's got fears and anxieties, and he's really seeking this temperance, this healing, like this gentle energy coming from this angel energy that comes from the temperance card normally. He's really feeling, I think also he's feeling really impatient with himself that he is such an anxious person and that he overthinks so much. He is impatient as well with this ending. He wants this painful ending to be over. This is what the Five of Swords is being clarified by. The Star, which we also saw. Oh my God, there's so many cards in Union. It's crazy. For Divine Feminine. Now, Divine Masculine, also in the heart space, and it's actually in the same exact position as Divine Feminine's. It is the third card in the heart space. So Divine Masculine, what is he feeling defeated by? He's feeling like it has been very difficult to reveal this Divine Feminine, to bring her out of the darkness and show her she has been hidden. It has been difficult for him to feel fully healed and for him to be able to have what it is that he wishes for. But that is what he's not willing to accept defeat. He's like, I will have this. I will reveal. I will end separation and I will reveal who it is that I love, this divine feminine energy. I won't fight it anymore. I won't fight against it. I will reveal her. Two of Cups. The Knight of Swords position. Clarified by the Two of Cups in reverse. So we've got Two of Cups upright for Divine Feminine. Two of Cups upright for Knight of Swords, Divine Masculine. This is what he is. So he's feeling like his inability to be honest with himself and to come in his integrity, chivalrous, cut through the bullshit, and just come into this physical union with Divine Feminine. This is what he's not being entirely honest with himself about this, about the reasons why he's not doing this. It's like he told himself it's because of this past energy and he's impatient with it, and that past energy is causing these problems. But the truth is, it's his fears about the separation and his anxieties about it. It's his inability to balance that energy, and he's like gets too overwhelmed by the feelings. No, my card got bent. I can't deal with books being bent or cards being bent. Not okay. Okay. Okay, the Justice card is being clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. So he's feeling, and it's interesting because this was clarified by impatience from the Temperance card in reverse, and then the Seven of Pentacles is a card of patience. So very interesting. But basically, Divine Masculine feels like it's unfair that he has had to wait so long for these seeds that he planted to finally come into their fruition. But they have, because there's his reward, the Nine of Pentacles, which matches Divine Feminine. And this is what he feels powerful enough to manifest. He's feeling like his return on his investment is here. This is clarifying his star. So this is the Divine Feminine energy. And he wants to give himself his reward. Oh, I feel tired. That was like a lot of stuff coming from everybody. All right, let's go back now to Divine Feminine and take a look at her oracle messages. I have to teach at 11. Yay. Okay. Divine Feminine, you are in the shadow attributes right now of the heroine energy. So you are escapism and a false sense of heroism. Girl, I'm feeling the escapism. I am feeling the escapism. I'm escaping into my work. I stayed up till an ungodly hour for me last night, trying to make the map for my record. I'm so exhausted, but I was escaping in that. I've been escaping in copious amounts of tincture. Yeah, escapism, feeling it. You need to come into the light, which is a passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Remember that you are on this journey for one reason: to empower yourself, because in your empowerment, you then have the ability to expand all of those around you. That is the only reason you are here. That is your life purpose, to expand and to feel a passion for that journey of expansion, which brings you into the fullness of your power. You are in the light attributes of the child energy. So I have a child and I just thought of him. So if you do have children in your life, this might be a time to take a lot of joy from them, from your relationship with them. But it can also be about your own inner child. It was interesting that we see it missing today when we see the sun card, because part of the experience of having a lot of decks is that there's more. I come and I sit down and I think, like, what imagery do I want to see today? And that in and of itself is sort of a ping that I get from my intuition. So for whatever reason today, I felt called to do Mystic Mondays, which has a specific sun card. And on that sun card, there isn't an inner child, even though almost every other sun card will usually put something like that on it. This one did not. So it's interesting that we still got this energy, though, as in, even though her fulfillment comes from herself, it's this healing of the inner child wounds that allows her to feel the fullness of her happiness. And she might still need to be doing this work with the inner child and being more playful and being more lighthearted and having fun. My record is called Playthings. And I'm trying to really keep that theme running through it. So being childlike, playing, I'm doing a map for it, and I'm gonna draw like a dollhouse with rooms. Like it's a record with different rooms in a house. You're also getting divine feminine forgiveness. So this is usually about having to forgive self. And for those of you that are feeling frustrated with yourself about your attachment to a specific masculine, you need to be in forgiveness for yourself. First of all, this is a mysterious process, being a human, and you can't control those things to a certain extent. You just kind of have to roll with it. You can choose better feeling thoughts, but you feel you love, that's just who you love. So you need to forgive yourself for your attachment. I also think you need to forgive divine masculine for not being ready. There's a part of you that would really just like to blame him. You know, this weird thing about like feeling like he has to fit in, or he's posing, or he cares what people think, or he's just doing whatever. There's some anger there. There's some stuff that you need to look at. You need to shine a light on it with that enlightenment coming from the sun card, and offer forgiveness, because whatever it is that's bothering you about divine masculine, I hate to tell you, but it is just a mirror. So you are literally holding up a card. If you are like, all divine masculine cares about is how this appears, he just wants to fit in. There's this shallow group of people that he's involved with, and he just like, I can't fight against that. I can't fight against that energy, or whatever it is that you're thinking. I mean, that's you. So you have to figure out, how are you posing? Are you posing as something you're not? Are you feeling concerned that you are part of a community of individuals that you kind of instinctively know are maybe not totally, honest. They're posing. Do you feel like an imposter? Like you have to figure out whatever you're angry about or triggered by, that is something about you. You're getting the fertility card in reverse. This could be an emphasis, like you're extremely creative right now, or this could be that you've been being very creative, and you're kind of coming to a point where you need to take a little breather for a minute and just give yourself some time to like recuperate, and seeing that for some. For others, it's about concerns or worries about whether they are actually biologically fertile, and having there's a message here to understand that that is energetic as well, that it is a biological manifestation of an energetic state of openness and receiving. And so um, you want to explore cards like the Empress. This is also like an Empress card too, kind of in reverse. Cards like the Queen of Pentacles, but ideas of abundance and being able to be creative and being fertile. It can also be about the Empress who has been rigid, fixed, and unmoving, finally getting up and starting to make bold moves in her own life. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. That was in reverse, which nicely clarifies this shifty tower card today that was in reverse, I thought, and then not in reverse when I looked at it again, so I don't remember. But regardless, Divine Feminine, it would behoove you, if you are not doing this, but I feel that most of you are, but find deeper meaning and personal growth amid this discomfort. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. So that desire for peace here, which definitely will come from a Five of Swords energy. If there's a Five of Swords energy, there's definitely a feeling of like, please I just want peace. So lean on that faith of the universe. I'm doing Talene Callie, who's a really cool musician, and does my sound baths. I'm doing like a monthly creative workshop with her where she sends you like journal prompts, and you do a sound bath at the beginning of the month, which I'm going to do today. And the mantra for this was similar to the Let Work Your Light card, which is that card that's like, what would you do if you knew you were supported? But it was basically like, if you leaned on that faith of the universe, like you can just be at peace. So that card really resonates with me. A win-win outcome is forecast, Libra. And I just had many conversations about Libra last night, so that is resonating with me. But there's balance and justice in that card. There was a reversal on it, but reversal on Moonology for me is usually a thing about timing. And so this says it is forecast. And so for me, that means it's coming in the future. But to see a reversal on that is saying that there has been a win-win outcome, that you have actually gained, even if you might not feel it. And then you're getting that your guidance is divinely guided. You're getting this reference to Akasha. This could also be a calling for you to go and take a look at the Akashic records, doing an Akashic records reading of some kind, because that will give you so much information about your soul purpose and your soul contract. And you'll get more understanding about why you're called even to be a guide. Then we're getting Turtle Spirit. Y'all know how I love Turtle Spirit card, and we already saw Turtle Spirit over here on Divine Masculine side. But this is for Divine Feminine, and it is the Oracle message. And it arrives to remind you that when you do what you need to do, putting one foot in front of the other and trusting that you will see your intentions manifest in perfect timing, your prosperity and love will grow exponentially. Now is not the time to rush around trying to force matters. Move slowly, perhaps even so slowly that it almost feels like as if you are not moving at all. With that Eight of Wands in reverse, it seems like this is how you're feeling, actually. This may be a time to crawl before walking, taking your time to align to Turtle's pace as you contemplate this road you are on, doing what you need to do in the small moment that will soon pass. Turtle Spirit reminds you that sometimes the best action is to slow right down. So if it feels as if you are not doing enough, know that simply being aware of what is happening right now may be an important step toward determining whether you need to pivot or simply keep putting one foot in front of the other. True love and true success comes with patience, says Turtle Spirit. Focus on the now, and the next step will be clear. All right. So, I mean, I already talked about being present, focusing on the present moment, and also being comfortable, right? Didn't I say I don't like this card? So, obviously, Turtle Spirit card's not comfortable for me, right? So, I need to take this message that comes from this Gabrielle Bernstein deck, which said that to find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid this discomfort. Why do I need to rush it? I just posted on my Pearl and the Prayers account last night. I had to go through my entire computer looking for these different versions of these songs because there's a producer that wants to work with me, like just maybe co-chair with me because I'm the lead on the project, but he has a studio so I could do vocals in and stuff, and I'm considering working with him. And I wanted to send like different examples of where I'm going with the whole record before we work on this one single that I'm finishing. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll get all of this stuff together. And I kept procrastinating. I didn't know why. And then I went to do it last night and was like, oh, this is why. Because some of the songs that I have, I wrote in 2012. That was a long fucking time ago. And there's a bunch of versions of them. And I don't want to use any of those versions, but I needed to like find like the original. And so I could be like, this is what the idea was. And now I want to do this, this, and this with it. And this is who's working on it because I have to keep like a big map of like this person in Dallas, Texas is doing vibraphones for me. Like, 'cause all my people in my network went back home. They left Los Angeles and now they're like all at their parents' house all over the country. So anyway, I was like doing all of that. And I realized that I was always in such a hurry when I was making the music in the past to like, I have to be famous or something. Like I have to like do this. And it's funny because I realized the only reason I wanted to be famous was because of my DM. Like I don't care about it otherwise, but I thought I had to be in order to be like accepted. So I had this urgency because I was insecure about who I was. And I also had this urgency to just get the music out or get it to somebody who could make it sound like I wanted it to sound. But I didn't have the security that I could sit there myself and bring it to its completion on my own. So I felt impatient with it. And if you feel impatient, it's because you are insecure about your ability to complete something. So Divine Feminine, getting very comfortable with taking your time. Why are you in such a rush? You're only in such a rush because you have some kind of a fear of loss. There's something you fear you're going to lose in this time that you're waiting for this thing to be there. But you wouldn't want to rush the gestation of a child, right? Like you don't want it to come out before it's done cooking because it could die. And like it's a lot harder for it to survive and grow. So you don't keep checking the oven and you let the baby just get to its full 9 months before you try to squeeze it out. Maybe it would be better if it happened sooner, but a little easier, a little less uncomfortable. But the end result would be something that would take so much more work to help it thrive that it really would have been worth just waiting and going through the discomfort of waiting and bringing that child fully developed into the world versus before it's ready and just having kind of a sickly thing that you're going to have to keep focusing on your whole life, everything in your life in that moment until that child is viable, right? Let it grow. New song. Instead of singing Let It Go, we're going to let it grow, let it grow. Divine Masculine, you are in the light of the lover. So you came out of the darkness. You get a little obsessive, a little self-destructive there for a minute. But you're in the light now. You just have great passion and devotion and unbridled appreciation of me. Thank you. Anyway, of someone or something, I mean. You found it. Me. I mean, someone or something. You found it. You have a sense here that you were lost and you've been found, or you were losing something and you're not losing anymore. You're also being told you found it if you weren't sure. This is an affirmation from St. Anthony that's like, bro, you found it. Give me my bread that you're supposed to give to the poor now if you know the whole prayer. Does anyone know the whole prayer? Because one time I heard it and it rhymes, but I can't remember the end. I just know St. Anthony, come around. Something's lost and can't be found. And then my grandma said the rest one time. She swears she didn't, but I know that she did. She was like, and when you do da 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 da, buy a loaf of bread. Right? And I can never remember it. Anyway, St. Anthony, you found it. Your guardian angel is here to support you with your blessings of abundance. So, what did you find? Well, maybe you found a big treasure chest filled with a bunch of jewels, but you're being helped in managing what it is that you found, in receiving what it is that you found, and in helping that to grow. This is interesting. You got 2 spell casting cards today, grieving and justice. And you also got justice here in reverse. So here's what I think. There are some in the collective that experienced a judgment of some kind, a legal decision, a legal judgment. They were waiting for this yesterday, and apparently they have received some kind of a judgment having to do with a painful separation. So there could be a divorce that happened, specifically because we see this 6 of Cups in reverse. So there could be some kind of injustice or some kind of a judgment, rather, that was rendered in regards to a past energy, to a separation or a divorce. And it could have been about a painful ending. So it could be about a karmic situation versus the actual desire to have the end of separation with divine feminine energy. So that could be possible because there's grief here. So the judgment was fair and it was balanced, but in that judgment, something was lost, and divine masculine is experiencing this grief energy at having lost something. It will transform him. It will transform who he is, but he's in this current energy in regards to this. But there is this feeling that the judgment is fair. It's just something that causes him grief nonetheless. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Guided by the light. So I keep getting these messages of like align with love, and like when I'm talking to my friends and they're talking about the situations with their partners and they're frustrated, and I keep coming back and saying to them, like, talk about what you want, not what you don't want, right? And what you want is to love. And when you accept that through love, through that journey, that 2 of Wands energy where you don't know the outcome, but you know that you're going on a journey, but through that journey of love, you're always guided back to your higher self. So if you feel yourself uncomfortable, you are most likely not in a state of love, and you can pull yourself back into comfort and balance by aligning with love. Hey, divine masculine, don't let your past hold you back. This is so relevant for your side of the reading, and divine feminine is actually pretty relevant for you as a whole person because you're very attached to your past as well. But particularly whatever has happened here, the separation, the divorce, the judgment, whatever that's going on, if that's resonating with you, don't let that hold you back from moving forward, because the divine is here to let you know that you are now unbound You have released these soul contracts and past lives and past situations. You don't have to feel like you're held back by this energy anymore. And you're getting the protection message of koi fish spirit. There is always enough. This is from the Colette Baron Reed deck. Are you feeling it's not the right one? Excuse me, can you please give me page 36? There we go. Okay. Are you feeling a sense of scarcity, afraid you will not have enough and not be enough to meet the challenges you face? Whatever your outer conditions, they are temporary and reflecting what was set forth in the past. Don't let your past hold you back. Koi fish spirit is your ally in changing those conditions by transforming your inner beliefs about scarcity and plenty. Perhaps you have suffered a loss or are afraid you soon will, or you have been scraping by and feeling there are simply no opportunities available for you to better your circumstances. Koi fish spirit asks you to find prosperity within you by connecting to spirit through spiritual practices. Spirit wants to remind you that your natural state is one of abundance. Remember all that you have to offer so that you can generate your own opportunities, love relationships, and even more. Even if you feel you have little to give right now, find it within you to give someone else, to give to someone else, even if it is just a few encouraging words, a smile, or a helping hand. Your action will remind you that you have more than it appears, more gifts, more strength, more wisdom, more abundance. As you give to others, your own sense of prosperity grows, and your outer conditions begin to shift in an alchemical reaction. Prosperity and love are yours to receive, experience, and enjoy. Believe it. All right, Divine Masculine. There is always enough. Okay. Bottom of the deck for the twins. These are the things that you are in union about. You are now in the light attributes of the warrior. So you've got strength, skill, discipline, toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. So you are both not accepting defeat, right? You both have the Five of Swords in reverse, and you are both not willing to accept defeat in regards to something in your life. Mary Magdalene is here about forgiveness, which we already talked about for Divine Feminine. So you really do need to have forgiveness for yourselves and for each other. Divine Feminine in particular, you need to forgive Divine Masculine for not being ready. Divine Masculine, you need to forgive yourself for not being ready. You both need to embrace your life purpose, which remember is not just coming together with somebody. It is about your mission of channeling the energy of source, aligning with higher self and love, and sharing and expressing that so that you can uplift others and expand humanity. No babe. Hope is the conduit for miracles. You both got the star card today, which means you are both in a state of hope. And hope is the thing that creates a miracle. And so, Divine Masculine, if you feel like it's going to take a miracle for you to break through whatever it is that has been keeping you from coming forward and ending this separation, you're in luck because you're both hoping for one. Your commitment is being tested. Now, this is a card for me. You both had issues with commitment. And so this is right now saying that you've moved from the place where you have issues and you're unwilling to commit. Because remember, like last week, we were seeing like, Hierophant, everything was in reverse. And we're like, no, I don't know if I'm ready. I'm afraid of it. And you're like, excuse me, I am not afraid of commitment. And I was like, well, then why are you here watching my reading? Because this energy is telling me that you are afraid of commitment. Duh. Okay, so you were, but you worked on it. You were like, okay, maybe I am. And now you are going to receive these tests in regards to this commitment that you have with each other. When you get tests, you should be excited. First of all, at this point in the game, at this stage in the game, they are really fucking easy to pass. Super easy. Super easy. Because you go, That's not in alignment. Must be a test. I don't want that. Bye. That's all it takes. Before, there was a lot of like, oh, I might, but now you can just feel. You're like, oh, this doesn't feel good. It must be a test. Okay, I know what I got to do. So your tests are a little easier to pass now. They get easier and easier and easier and easier to pass as you get closer and closer and closer to your goal. But just know that right now your commitment is being tested. But trust in this great mystery. We're getting whale spirit again. 65 in the book. When I'm 64. This is whale spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. Damn. In the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, whale spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When whale spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand. I'm sorry. You expect me to see a mystery and not intellectually try to understand it? I will never be able to accomplish this task. I must understand everything. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition, and through the peripheral senses that part the invisible veils separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by the angels. It is very hard for me not to try to understand mystery. I don't know about you. Unsolved Mysteries was my favorite show when I was a kid. I wanted to know it all. So it's tough for me to just be like, I'm not supposed to know. It's actually one of the things I like about Catholicism is that they always keep that mystery, which is about power and control, but it's fun. And I like the smell of the incense. All right, let us close out this reading with just a few little minor things that we can do today to help us feel great, like Tony the Tiger. And please like, subscribe, share, click notifications if you want to know when I'm going live. I don't do that. I don't have notifications clicked on this shit because, like, I hate notifications. They make me feel anxious, so I don't blame you if you don't do that. But if you don't want to have notifications and you're like, but how will I know when you're going live? Follow me on Instagram. And in the morning sometime, just check and see, or if you're on the East Coast, I guess it's a little bit towards the afternoon for you, but check and see if I have posted the shuffle with the songs that played during the shuffle. And then you can hop over to YouTube and check. And I'm most likely going to be live over here. The description box has ways you can support me. There's Patreon stuff. There's additional content. You can buy me cards so I can have new imagery for you and tell you new messages, all kinds of ways to support me on my channel. And I do appreciate that when you do it. It's really helpful to me because this is my only job, this and being a musician. Okay, let's see. Here's the advice for what you can do today. Hate this advice. So funny. All right. If I read this as masculine and feminine advice instead of just advice for the both of you, and sometimes I do that, what we have over here is pretty funny because it is the 5 of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So it's like stay optimistic and keep moving slow and steadily. Hate that. Divine Feminine, we've got the 6 of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So Divine Feminine, for you, what I see... Oh, I'm sorry. This was the King of Pentacles. So this is not slow and steady. The Knight of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. My bad. The slow and steady is for both of the energies. The King of Pentacles is being optimistic about your worthiness, about your ability to achieve the fullness of your potential and your worthiness today. So stay optimistic that you have what it takes to protect and to provide. And that also you could be able to show up in the 3D at this point in time if you choose. So be optimistic about that. And then the Knight of Pentacles is for both of you to make slow and steady progress. But for Divine Feminine, we were getting the Six of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So be very honest with yourself, Divine Feminine, and don't waste any time. Get right on this today. Take a good hard look at your resistance to releasing the past, because there is something in here for you to chew on and digest and get rid of. So that's your advice for today. Be very honest with yourself about this past energy that you're very attached to and work to release that attachment. Small, one step at a time type of a deal. Okay, lovely reading. I'm good to go now and teach in 6 minutes for 2 hours. And then I will do my sound bath and then I will be free to work on my record. Okay, everybody, have a lovely day. I will see you here. It will not be actually here tomorrow. So let me take that back. I will see you on Instagram live tomorrow because it is Sunday and I'm doing a reading with Grace Strega. Thanks so much for being here, Michelle. At noon on Sundays over on Instagram. It's really fun. She takes one side and I take the other. We do a check-in and then we will answer personal questions for you live. So if you want to ask me a question, which I did see someone ask me here and I didn't see that before, but you can ask those questions during the 30 minutes following the check-in on Sundays with Grace Strega, and you get 2 powerful readers responding to your questions. So it's pretty cool. That is where you will see me again. After that, I shall be here Monday morning on Tune In Tarot. Take care and have the best day today, everyone.